Hello guys, once again welcome back to the channel Rahul Automation Studio. So guys, in this video I'm going to explain you about the web tables. So how you can handle the web tables in a Selenium. Either it is a static web table or it is a dynamic web table. So how you can handle it in your Selenium. So in my last video I have explained about different concept of XPath, different locators in a Selenium, and how you can make your XPath as customized and parameterized, how you can use different XPath axes while creating a unique XPath, right? So in this video, I'm going to explain you about the web table. So if you don't aware much about the web XPath and dynamic XPath, please watch my previous videos and it will be very useful and you will be easily understand this video that how you can handle web tables in a Selenium, guys. So I have one example. There is a one website and this website is having a very good example for the web table, and also you can do the automation practice on this particular website. So it is the example for the web tables, and guys you can see the table, and basically web table is consist of number of rows and number of columns. So there are different number of rows and number of columns are there. So how we can find out number of rows and columns? See, you guys, you can see there are number of records. Today there can be 100 record and tomorrow it can be 150 record. It doesn't matter, so that we will always create dynamic XPath, and dynamically we will be handling the web elements. So first of all we will inspect it, and let's try to create a one Java file in our Eclipse, right? So just right click and create a one Java class file. We will give the name as a web table, and we will include the main method in it. Just click on a finish, and once it is there, we will add the code to launch a browser and to load a URL in it, right? So just write it down. So this is the code to launch a Chrome browser and to open a URL in the browser, and after that it will do the maximize of your browser. And basically this is the URL which is having the web table example. So same URL we will be opening in our driver.get method. So once this URL will be open, and so this is the website, and you can see guys, this is a table. So let's inspect this table first of all. So this is a table, right? So this is having the ID as a country. So first let's locate this only. So just copy, find out the XPath for it. So it is a table and its ID is there. So at the rate ID equal to single colon and the values. So we can locate this web element, web table. And in this web table, there are number of records and columns. So how you can find out number of rows, how many number of rows are there? So you can see the pattern. So guys, in this table, you can see there are multiple TR tags are there. TR, TR, TR. So basically this TR is having a one record, or you can say one row. So every TR is a one row, right? So we have to find out the number of rows. So in that case, you have to write it down /TR. So you can see there are total 197 TR are there. So it means in this table, there are total 197 rows are there, guys. You can see it is locating. So now let's now try to find out in your Selenium how you can find out. So you have to do driver dot find elements, guys, because find elements you have to use if there are more than one web elements. So we are using web elements and by dot XPath, right? What is the XPath? So we have to copy that particular XPath. This is the XPath to find out the rows in a table. Single double quotes we have to use, guys, right? So we will remove it. Yeah, dot size, and we will store in one int variable. So int rows count. It will give the number of rows. We will display it system dot out dot println method we have to use for it. And this is the rows count we will display. So we are using TR, so it doesn't matter, guys. Today there is 50 record, tomorrow it can be 60 or 70. So whatever the records will be there, dynamically it will fetch all the number of rows for you. In the similar way, we will try to find out the number of columns in this particular web table. So instead of giving the variable name as rows, we will give the variable name as a columns, right? And how to find out number of columns, guys. So if you look at the web table, basically the headers like visited, country, capital, currency, primary language, these are basically the columns. So there are 5 columns in this web table. So how you can find it? Through the Selenium. So guys, number of columns are same for all the number of rows. So if we will find out the number of column for one row, so it will be same for all the number of rows, right? So how you can find out for the one record? So you can rotate first record, so which is pointing out to the web table header, right? So basically web table header contains the number of columns, right? And under this you can see there are TD, right? So 5 TD is there. So it means we have to find out number of TD under the TR, right? So this is the XPath for the to find out the number of columns. So there are more than one column. So it means we have to use driver.find elements. So this is the XPath you have to use to find out the number of columns in a table. Use this XPath and we are printing it, right? So now let's try to run it to find out the number of rows and number of columns in a web table by the Selenium. So total their number of rows are 197 and 5 are the columns, right? We have seen it. So let's try to find out with the help of a Selenium code. So yeah, it's giving 197 and 5. So 197 are the rows and 5 are the columns. Now our next thing is we want to read the values from the table. This is a table and we want to read out the values of this rows values. We want to read out the values, right? So how you can read the web tables values? So guys, if you locate this element, so just copy it and we will inspect under this only. Right? So basically our records are getting start from the second row, right? So first let's try to locate the number of row. These are number of record. And now if you see under this row, value is basically getting start, right? Value is getting start. I will just zoom it so that you can see. Hope it is visible. I will just zoom it more. Yeah, so you can see under this TR, this is a second record. There are number of TDs. So our first TD means to say first column is basically for the checkbox. So we can't read value from it, but we can click on the checkbox. That also I will show you how you can click on a checkbox in a web table. And second column is for the value, right? Third column is for value, fourth and fifth. So if you will do /TD and TD, if you will start it from the 2, so you can locate this value. If you will do it 3, right? Third column, fourth column, fifth column. So TR is basically for the row number, TD is basically for the column number. So just let me write it down. So we will make a one XPath which will be the parameter. So basically this is for the second. So in the similar way, this is for the second column, second row. This is for the second row, third column, right? And now in the similar way, we will write it down for the fourth column and fifth column. So this is for the fourth column and this one is for the fifth column, right? Now this is for the second row. We will write it down, guys. So this is for the second row. Suppose tomorrow we want to find out the value for the third row and all the columns. So what you will be do? What will be the XPath for it? Suppose for the third row. So you have to change the value of the TR 3, 3, 3. So now if we will locate, this will be pointing out to the third row, guys. So you can see now it is coming on this third one, right? So only the table, in the table, row number and column number is getting changed. So we can make one XPath that is, this is common, right? For every record or every value. Just write it down. Now the row number is getting changed. So in the row number, we will write down one variable name. Suppose I is for the row number. Similar way, we will write it down the one variable for the column also. That is for J, right? So this is the one XPath which we can use for all the values in your web tables, guys. So how you can use it? So let's try to apply in a for loop and then we will see it. So just write it down the for loop. I, we will start with int I we will start from 2. Why? Because in the first record, in the first row, we are having the web table headers. So we want to display the record. So record is getting start from the second record. So second row. So that's why we are starting it with the 2. Now it should be less than and equal to rows count. So this is the rows count, right? We will count it for the all the number of records, guys. After it, we will do I plus plus. So this is the first loop for the number of rows. In the similar way, we will write it down for the columns as well. So in the columns, int j equal to j, we will start from 2. Why? Because in our first column, there is only the checkbox. We can't read the value from first column. From the second column, we can read the value. So that's why we have to start our column index also from 2. And what should be the limit? Less than and equal to columns count, right? Columns count. And we will do the j plus plus. So these are the loop to read out the values from the table. Now how you can read the value? So driver dot find element by dot XPath, right? And to read the value, we have to use the method get text method, guys. Once it will return the value, we will store the value in a variable suppose value. And after it, we will print this value. So this is printing the value. Now what should be the XPath for it? We have already written customized XPath. This is a customized and dynamic XPath, guys, to handle the web tables. So in place of I, we have to write down double quotes, double plus and I. So this is how you have to use the variable in your XPath. If you don't know how to use, please watch my video parameterized XPath, so that how you can make a parameterized XPath, guys. So like this you have to use, and it will return the value, then it will display. So it will return all the values to you guys. So just I will write it down the number of records for you, right? So I plus yeah, so it will display the number of records. Now let's try to run it. So it should display the record values for all the rows, because we have added the condition for rows count and the columns count, and it is starting from second record, second column. So let's see it, guys. So this is a dynamic XPath, guys. So it doesn't matter there is 5, because see I have not seen there how many records are there, right? So it doesn't matter for it. Whatever number of record will be there, it will work. It will not get failed, guys. So this is a dynamic XPath to handle the dynamic web tables. You can see as all the records are getting displayed. So we have seen there total around 197 record, out of which first record is for the headers, and we have not displayed the headers. So I will show you 197 rows. So but first one is for the header. So there total 196 records it should display. Yeah, like 197 that is there because we have started from 2. We have given the starting index as 2, so that's why. So total if we count there will be 196. So last value is English, and you can see the last value in your table must be the English. You can see English and United States dollar. So United States dollar. So it has read all the records in your web table, guys. Just only one XPath, and it has been used to access all the number of records and values in your table, right? Now I will show you how you can fetch particular cell value. Suppose there is a value. Suppose you want to access the value for access particular value, this LOM value from this particular cell. Suppose this is a 5th row and 3rd column, right? So how you can fetch the value of a particular cell value? So for that we will write down the one method, guys. So public void and cell value, basically, right? Because we in the table, if one rectangular text box, we call it as a cell. So here we have to pass as a WebDriver, right? And we have to pass the row number, and we have to pass the column number as well, right? And we have to define this method as a static also, because we will call this method, we have to call this method under the static main method. So that's why we have to define this method as a static. So we will just copy the same XPath, because same XPath we can use, and here we will define as a cell value. So this is a variable name, cell value, right? And we are using a number. So in place of 5 we will use a row number. Similar way column number, right? So in place of j we will use the column number, and we will pass the value. Now we can use this method to call to fetch any value, guys. Suppose driver we have to pass, and we want to get the value basically for 4th column, right? And 4th row and 4th column. So first one is for the row number and second one is for the column. So we want to find out the value for this. In the similar way, you can find out the value for different cell indexes also. Suppose you want to find out for 5th row and 5th we will say third column. Okay, so now let's try to find out. Just we can comment this code because it will take some time to fetch all the records, yes, right? So let's try it. Run a Java application. We are fetching fourth record, fourth value, fifth row, third column value, right? So let's see. So this is a dynamic XPath we have written, and you can use for any number of record, for any row number or any column number, guys. This is how you have to handle the web table, guys. So we will verify. So we have used fourth row, fourth column. So first, 2, 3, 4. Fourth row, fourth column value is basically Algerian diner. And you can see Algeria diner. And fifth row, third column. So fifth row and third column, right? Yeah, third column is Andorra la Vella, right? So you can see Andorra la Vella. So you can fetch any particular value if you want by this XPath and by this method. You don't need to write and you don't need to worry where the record, whatever number of records are there, or you don't have to write down separate XPath for it. Just one XPath and you can use it, guys, right? So now I will show you. You can see there is a checkbox, guys. I want to show you. Suppose you want to select any number of record. You want to select suppose third record, and for that you have to click on this checkbox, right? So how you can click on a checkbox? So for that we will write down the one similar kind of method like cell value method, and so we will write it down like checkbox click, right? This is a checkbox click, and we don't need column number because it will be always in the first column, right? So in place of this we can write it down 1 because it is a fixed one. It will be always in the first column checkbox, right? And we don't have to do the get text. We have to write it down the click method will be there. This time it will not return any value, so we can remove it because we are going to click on a checkbox. But what is the XPath for it? So if you will check the XPath, guys, so this is basically after input you have after TD you have to do the input. Suppose TR2, after that TD, always TD will be 1. After that you have to check the input, right? Only your TR will be changing, right? To click on the checkbox. Other than value will be same. You can see, right? Like this. So only TR will be changing. So you can write it down the XPath like TR/input. That's it, guys. We have already made the row number as parameterized, and so we can call this method now. So we will call, suppose we want to click on the checkbox for our second record. So we have to pass as a driver comma 3, right? Because first is having only the header. So we want to click on second, and in the similar way, we want to click on the different checkbox also. Suppose we want to click it for the fifth row, right? So just you have to call it like this. Same method. You can use it for number of records. So it is a good practice. Always write such kind of methods and such kind of dynamic XPath so that you can use anytime for number of records or for number of your different test cases as well. So that's how you have to write it down, guys. So yeah, now let's try to run it. So we have already seen this. So we have already verified this value is coming perfect. Just we will this time we will check it is actually clicking on this third record and fifth record. So just run it as a Java application, guys. It has to click on the checkbox. So if see guys, I'm just showing you for the checkbox. If there is any other value, suppose you have to select the value from a drop down, or you want to send the values in particular cell value of a table, right? So similar way you can achieve that also. Just use the same Selenium actions like dot send keys or dot select method, and you can definitely achieve that in the web table in the similar way. Just you have to write down the dynamic XPath as per the web table. So you have seen, you can see guys, it has record on second and this fourth record. So if we count it from the header, it's basically first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So third and fifth checkbox, like it has been clicked. So we have given third and fifth only. So we can give 10, we can give 12, right? Any number of record. Just you have to change the index and it will work, guys. Believe me, it will work always, and there is a less chance to fail for you. So let's try it for 10 and 12, and then we will close this video. And I think we have covered most of the things in the web table that can be there. So you can see it has clicked on number of record 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. So 10 and 12. Yes, we have given for 10 and 12. So dynamically it is generating the XPath for 10th row and the 12th row for the checkbox, and it is working at it, and it is clicking on the checkbox for you in the web table. So guys, you can use the same thing. If there is a, suppose tomorrow in the table there is a text box, you want to send some value, or there is a drop down in the web table. So similar way you can use such kind of method and XPath, and you can select the value and perform all different type of Selenium actions in the web table, guys. So guys, we have covered almost all the things that can be there in the web table. You can find out number of rows, columns, data, how you can fetch complete data. Suppose you want the same data in a report, so you can definitely fetch like this. And if you want any particular cell value, how you can fetch, how you can perform the Selenium action in a web table. So that also we have seen. So that's it, guys. I mean, it is covering all the things about the web tables. If you still have any question about the web table, you can always comment in my video, and I will definitely try to answer your question. So if you like the video, please like and share and subscribe to my channel, and please share it with your colleagues and friends. So thank you, guys. Thanks to all everyone. Thank you. Bye.